See, that's because that was my main thing. I personally know someone who was in that case. He paid the 7%. He had a little some saved over, but he was paying basically even after, let's say after the $40,000 he paid, he was paying around $45,000 a month in payments, basically mortgage, heat, all of that extra.
Yeah.
And his savings was done in 6 months. So it's like he still worked a good job, but it didn't make sense. And because he had a co-signer, of course, he got approved because, like what you said, the debt to income, but it didn't after the 6 months.
Yeah, see, this is why you need a proper real estate agent that knows what they're talking about, shoot everything straight with you, and also give you the numbers up front so you know what you're walking into before you even make that purchase. Because owning a home is a big purchase, a big lifetime commitment that you have to fulfill. So, with that being said, as long as you got the right team with you and by you, you should be in good hands, and you should, take the chance.
So then, what services do you provide? Right. So, say if I come to you and I say, "Hey, I got like I said, I got $40,000 in my name. I don't have any debt. I paid off all my debt. I only got 40 bands. I need somewhere to stay. I want to leave mama's crib."
Okay.
Do you now say, "Hey, go get a crib, FHA does out"? Do you say, "Oh, get an apartment, build your income until you really could get a crib"? Now, knowing I said I only have 40,000 to my name.
The first thing I do is do a client interview, which is where we go over your finances, what the payments will look like, to see if we're a good fit. That's first and foremost, is the relationship between the agent and the client. And also, not to forget, is to go over every single detail that might come up in a transaction, past experiences, and build upon that. And once after the client interview, you feel like you know way more than you did, that's when you know, okay, maybe I can take the chance of doing this, opposed to it feeling like climbing mountains that can't be attained.
Okay. So now tell me what to do. Because you know me. I'm your client. You know me. Way back in the day. Tell me since high school. Tell me what to do. 40,000 to my name. Only got 40,000 paid off for that.
The first thing I would do is tell you to sit with a lender. They'll go over if you need a co-signer or not, if the co-signer is helping with the payments or not. And then once they get that done, you get a pre-approval. The pre-approval is basically saying what your current buying power is for the transaction. So let's say you make $120,000 a year.
I don't. No, that's what I'm saying. We gonna talk as if because majority of America does.
No, let me give you. Because
I don't make 120.
Let me give you the spin on it.
What if I only made 80?
Let me give you the spin on it. Now.
All right.
So say you make 80.
Yeah.
You get a co-signer. The co-signer makes 60.
Yeah,
to the lender's eye, is both incomes combined as one, but it's both debt combined as one too. So once they see that, okay, these two people together make 140,000, right? That 140,000, they're gonna use against your DTI. Then they're gonna come up with a pre-approval for you. The pre-approval should lie around for 140,000 with low debt, I should say, and good credit. You're looking at about, let's say, a 650 pre-approval. So you should look within houses that's from 650 and below. What I like to tell clients is to look between 640 and 630, just so you have that extra buffer window. Even though you don't need to use all that pre-approval amount, it's best to save some in reserve.
So if they pre-approve me for 650 and I find the house that's 500, can I still take the 650?
Yes,
drop the 500, keep 150, and now refinance? Or
it's not really keeping 150. It's being within that window.
It's within it.
It's within that window.
So how does that now work? And this is from someone who's stupid. Will say they're gonna deposit 650,000.
No, the bank is paying everything. The only thing you have to worry about is your out-of-pocket expense and your monthly obligation.
With the form, hey, the house is 500, but then the expense is this and this and that.
So let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
So once you get the pre-approval, the pre-approval is saying this is my buying power for whatever property within this number. Once you find the property, the next step you're going to go to is the contract. The contract is basically saying these are the yeses and these are the nos. And once both party agree to that during the negotiations, you have to have 20,000 for the contract. Typically, 10 to 20,000, preferably 20,000 for the contract signing. Then that will be held in escrow. And then from the duration of contract signing to the closing, there will be title. Title is basically making sure that everything is clean with the Department of Buildings, violations, yes or no. Then you're going to have an appraisal. That's to make sure that whatever number that you offered for that property and it gets accepted at, the bank is okay with willing to spend the money to attain that property for you. Right? And then before we even get into all of that, you need to do an inspection. An inspection is basically them going across the property, making sure everything's in working order, making sure it's clear of termites, mold, letting you know everything that's going on with the property. And if you're okay with accepting this property for what it is, negotiating with the seller, or moving on to the next one that better fits your needs.
Okay. All right. So say if I come to you and I go, boom, according to how my income is set up, I do got good money saved, but I don't want a chance getting my home right now, right? Until I build a little better income or I get a cosigner. I can't find a cosigner, right?
Okay.
So I can't get a crib, but I need to find somewhere to live tomorrow. So I get an apartment.
Okay.
2 months in the apartment, I find a cosigner.
Okay.
Now, would you recommend staying in the apartment, getting that property, and now using that property as a rental unit, like you were saying before? Or would you say just get the crib and live in the crib?
Well, you have to own the unit for at least a year.
Oh, I thought it was 6 months.
No, you have to be you have to live in the property.
And can they prove that you live there? Like they're gonna come knock on the door and make sure you the one in there?
You need to have mail sent to the property. That's a way of saying that I still live in the current property. Okay. Then you can rent out the other spaces that you're not occupying.
Oh, so then, like I said, I'm at the apartment 2 months later, I find the cosigner, boom, you get the crib, I come to Mr. Courtney, we get the crib, income is looking good, credit's looking good, no debt, the boy got some money saved, he gets the crib. He's living on the top floor, getting mail sent, and he goes, 3 months or 4 months in, he goes, I do need some extra money ASAP. I'm gonna start renting out my basement now instead of waiting a year 4 months.
Yeah,
what happens? Is there a penalty?
You can rent out your basement right away as long as the basement has 2 ways of escape, which is an egress window and also a walkout entrance. It has to have 2 points of exits and entry in that basement, just in case of like a fire or whoever is renting that unit or living in the basement has a way to escape. That's one way. So for the apartment situation right now, right? So say if you get a multifamily, a two-family home, you have to occupy the first floor and the second floor. Technically, you live on the first floor or in your basement. You could rent out the other spaces, and then you could offset your mortgage that way. So a typical two-family home will run you about, let's say, 8 to 10,000, depending on what the two-family is.
A month.
But you can rent out
in mortgage. And that's not the electric and the heat.
That's without anything included.
Okay.
But now in Queens, certain parts you can rent out each floor. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom. You can rent out a 3-bedroom right now for typically $3,000 to maybe $4,500. So if you rent out both units, that's basically your mortgage, and then you're living in your house for free. And then after you hit after the year, you can rent out the basement, leave, and then that basement will be the extra cash flow.
Now you got profit. 2 people paying the mortgage, and then the third person is giving you the pay.
Correct. And then
before I wanted to get up out of here, because I know you got to go sell some homes, can you quickly explain the Burr method and why we should be a part of the Burr method? Real quick.
The Burr method is basically buy, renovate, rent. So you buy a property that's the worst property on the block. Then you renovate it. Then once you renovate it, you get extra equity in the property. Okay. Then you can rent out the property. Then have your tenants pay for that home, leverage the equity in that property, and then keep steamrolling it and buying another property. and do the same thing all over again and increase cash flow.
You heard it here first. I'm buying a crack house. I'm renovating it out. I'm putting the geysers in there. Geysers that need the crib. Don't worry, I'm getting all the crack houses off the block. My rent gonna be $1,500. And then I heard I could go to the government and do the assistance thing, so the government's paying me, right? We gonna talk on that.
I mean, the assistance thing is basically just you getting a voucher tenant. The government pays you.
So I get the money no matter what.
No matter what, even if they don't have the money, you get the money.
We renting crack houses all 2025. You heard? You heard? Investors, tap in with me. All right. I got Courtney Williams, the best real estate agent in the tri-state, soon to be across the nationwide. You know, My Dad TV, Chuckle and Chat. I don't know what else to say, but we're going to cut this part right here. Listen, Dubai only got 2 minutes left on his camera, and I just feel like I wanted to be an asshole and waste his last 2 minutes. So, you stopped it? And I feel like my hot-ass breath done fogged up the camera.